Thank you, Councillor, and thank you, Minister. And as we know, road fatalities have significantly increased in the last number of years. There were 188 road fatalities in 2023, the highest since 2014, when the figures were 192. But already in 2024, up to yesterday, there were 63 compared to 49 at this time last year. And it's really worrying. And the total collisions are up 58 already this year compared to 45 last year at this time. People are dying, Minister, and people are getting hurt, and we need to do something urgently. I welcome the new Garda Rossiter to mean that there will be more of a presence on our roads, but there are major issues. I met myself with the TII, with your own office, Minister, with Carlow County Council last week, following a massive, as you know, collision and fatalities on a stretch of the road in Carlow, the N80. Absolutely horrific, and I have been working very well with Carlow County Council, and I want to thank them for their work and the councillors for their commitment, and to TII, because it was a very positive meeting with TII, that there will be funding there, and thankfully they have committed to working on the safety measures on this road with Carlow County Council in the interim. Because, you know, yourself, look at the issue I have is, while we have the funding, it's the time scale on how quick we can get this road done and the measures that need to be done on this, because we need to make our roads safer. The level of non-compliance on Ireland's roads, Minister, is off the scale, and this is according to the Chair of the Road Safety Authority, Liz O'Donnell, on RTE. She is saying that those caught breaking the rules of the road should face more severe penalties, and if she is saying that, Minister, we really need to take attention, pay attention to this. She revealed studies have shown high levels of non-compliance in terms of speeding, mobile phone use, drink and drugs, and that you know, it's unacceptable. Community-based road safety groups from across the country said that RSAI is not fit for purpose, and the reason I'm bringing this is because I have a huge issue with this. They are not doing their job. I am contacted every week by young people who cannot get a driving test. I'm not saying they are driving anyway, but if we cannot ensure that those on our roads are driving correctly, we need to take a good look at ourselves. The staffing at driving test centres is not good enough, and it needs to be. If you look at the waiting times in Kilkenny for driving test centres, remain at 26 weeks, and in Carlow it's 16 weeks. It's you know, it just isn't acceptable, and the RSA estimate that the agreed service level of average waiting times of 10 weeks will resume in mid-2024, and we're almost there now. But these are just the issues that I feel that we, you know, I suppose we work on daily, but we just seem to be getting nowhere, Minister. But we also need to tackle education. There are a lot of factors to an accident, but what is worrying me is, if you look at since 2019, people aged between 16 and 25 represent some 20% of all road deaths, but they are just 12% of the driving population. Last year, over a quarter of all fatalities were in that age group. It's really worrying, and it happens to be getting worse. On the RSA graph of road crashes, we are seeing an uptick of what used to be downward trend. And now, of the 61 people that have died on our roads in 2024, a third were 25 years old or younger. We need to talk seriously about speed, about public awareness campaign of the dangers of driving too fast. And there's a Dr. Michael Gormley, Assistant Professor of Psychology at Trinity College Dublin, who he focuses on driving behaviour, and in particular, you know, for everyone, but particularly for young people. So we need to have a public awareness campaign. We need to have more safety on our roads, and we, all of us, have a personal responsibility, you know, when we are on these roads. I mean, look, one life lost on a road is just too many. One life. Families are heartbroken. Families will never be the same. People are affected. Communities are affected. And we have to make sure that we cannot have any more loss of lives on our roads. And I think funding, Minister, as I said, I met with the TII, I met with your department, Carlow County Council. Getting the funding to our local authorities is absolutely crucial. The other thing I want to ask you about is when a planning application has to go to Bord Pleanála, there's a huge timescale issue there, Minister. And I'm asking you now, when it comes to roads, and this is around the country, but I'm particularly, I know Carlow and County Carlow is where I work on, that there needs to be priorities with these roads where the funding is there, it goes in to be done, it goes to Bord Pleanála, and then you're waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting on that. I would ask you, Minister, I would beg you, we need to see what we can do. This is about road safety. It's about saving lives, and that to me has to be a priority. The other issue I just want to ask you about is, and I know, Minister, in fairness, there has been a lot of funding gone into our roads to local authorities. Now I have to say, Carlow never get enough, and I'm always saying we need more, Minister, you know that. I'm always saying to you, when we get our allocation and anything to do with roads or transport, we need a lot more of it. But just with the schemes like the LIS schemes and all the small schemes that really affect rural Ireland, like rural Ireland have some roads, Minister, and they really need funding. And again, we see huge traffic. Like if I go back even now, which I spoke about a minute ago, the N80, the Carlow to Wexford Road, where we've had so many accidents, just 12,000 cars and vans goes on that particular road a day. And then I go back to the rural roads now, where we're encouraging people now to, you know, I suppose we're always be environmental and you know, we're always trying to save the planet, which we need to do and work with everybody. But like there's roads, Minister, in Carlow, in County Carlow, and byways and highways, and like the local authority are not getting funding for them as well. So I'm just asking that all our local schemes, that you give more funding, that more funding is given to them in regards of keeping our roads safe, keeping our people safe, and making sure that when people are going to work or going shopping or whatever, that they know when they go on that road that they are on a safe road, and that's our duty of care to the people of County Carlow. Thanks so much.
Thank you very much.